Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, January 13th, 2022. And I just made it, guys. Sorry, I posted like the post on the webpage, on the YouTube page, really late. And because normally I like to do that at least an hour ahead of the scheduled live stream, but I got back from my run like 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Um, and then like slammed some food real quick. So I reheated some leftovers and ate a lunch real fast. And then I'm here because my run, I don't feel like I started it that late, but I must have started it later than I was thinking because, man, this morning's just flown by. But now it's time for a live stream. I'm happy to be here. Hopefully, all of you guys listening in on the podcast on the audio only version are having a great run out there today. It's warm here in Chicago right now, but it's windy. So, you know, Chicago never gives with two hands, I guess. um, and then everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, thanks for making it over to the live stream channel. And hopefully you're sitting back with a nice recovery beverage because it is Thursday. It is happy hour. Today, I've got some more of this stuff, which I was going to either, we have beer in the house, which we don't always have beer in the house, but we have beer in the house, good beer too. So I was like, I'm going to have a beer today. But I was just so kind of like in a rush. I'm like, it's going to feel like like a weird mile contest where I'm like a beer mile, where I just went for a 10-mile run and now I'm slamming the beer. I didn't really feel like doing that today, so I dug through the closet. I've been saving this one. It's another one of the Vega proteins. I'm not a huge fan of the Vega proteins because they're very convenient. They come in all sorts of different sizes, jugs, single serve packs, whatever you might need. But I very rarely like the taste. And this one is Choco Cinnamon Banana. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's one specifically made for gut health. So I thought maybe I'd give it a try. There's some probiotics in there, some proteins, and some prebiotic fiber. So we'll give that one a try in just a minute. I've also got my afternoon coffee, just in case, in the highly likely event that I don't like this Vega protein shake. But before we get that mixed up, let's see who we got here. Daniel M is here. He says, yo, happy belated New Year, everybody. Well, happy New Year to you too. Duke BB says that. Happy New Year to you too. And Martha's giving us a quick update on her leg issue. She said, no stress fracture, rather a stress reaction. That's always much better. And she can run as soon as it no longer hurts. So far, he recommends alternative fitness. No way going to a gym. So uphill, treadmill, and walking, and PT. All right. That's good to hear. Very good to hear. And Martha says, good news is that I could be front loading the Boston uphill training. There you go. Speaking of Boston, that's going to be kind of like the subject to get us kicked off for today. I just saw Citius Mag posted a list of, you know what? Every time you do Instagram, like it always wants to show you, it's always in such a hurry to show you more content. But anyway, let's see. Let's get to that because I was looking at the post that they had made about it. It was a nice condensed way of looking at where all of the athlete field is. The American field, if you guys haven't seen it already, Scott Fauble is the fastest American on this list. Colin Benny, Jared, at least by PRs. Got Jared Ward, Ian Butler, Mick Yokofano, Jake Riley, Lee Olympian. Going down the list a little bit. I don't mean to skip anybody, but just so that way I'm not reading off an entire list. We got CJ Albertson, who was very popular last year, running downhill and just taking it out like a boss. So he'll be back. It'll be interesting to see again if he does the same thing. My guess is he's going to run it the exact same way. It's just going to be whether or not the rest of the field decides to follow him this time. I think last year that's what he said. He's like, I just went and ran my race. No one else came with me. I think that's what his kind of a post-race interview was. And then if we switch over to the international field, Bekele's going to be slated to make an appearance. Then we got Titus Ikiru, Evans Chibet, Lawrence Chirono, Bernard Koech, Lemmy Berhanu, Elisa DeCisa, Gabriel Guille. Let's see. Yeah, Guille. And Benson Caputo and Jeffrey Kamawar round out like the 205 guys. Eric Kiptanui is also a 205 guy. And then also there's 6 total former champions in the men's side. And then there's former champions on the women's side as well. But the field is so deep. There's 6 former men's champions running Boston this year too. So like Kauchi's coming back. man, it's going to be like, it's such a deep field, but I'm just trying to figure out why is this field so deep this year, right? I think that there's reasons that probably make sense, and I think that they're all probably a little bit COVID related, one way or the other. But man, it's an incredibly deep field. It's like I definitely want to go now to watch as a spectator, and I'm just like, I don't even. What's the story? Like, who do you even watch at this point? Like, how do you craft a story? Like, I don't even know how to approach it from like a media perspective. So very, very exciting. Let me know if you guys are excited, who you guys are excited to watch. Michael Cheng says, yeah, what a lineup for Boston. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. All right. We've got Jeff Elliott in here saying hello. And Eric Paramount's chewing on a sandwich and tuning in. Hope all is well. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you again. And Daniel S for his recovery beverage for days have Black's coffee from Stumptown. Sounds very, very good. All right. Let me scroll down. Cuddles is here again. Good to see you again from South Africa. What's going on? All right. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and try to catch up with you guys in the chat. And while I'm reading and catching up with what you guys are saying, I'm going to get this thing started. It says on the back, drink like this, pour, shake, and enjoy, right? So just pour, shake, and where you go? There, I'm getting focused on it. Too close. Pour, shake, and enjoy. It says that to mix it with almond milk. That probably is going to be better, but I don't have any almond milk at home right now. So we're just going to get it into this water bottle in my very fancy beverage mixing rig. It's a ball jar. We don't do any canning at home, but we have all the canning stuff. Well, not all the canning stuff. I don't think we have like the, where's my lid? There it is. We don't have like the special tongs and stuff like that, but I don't know why. I think my wife at one point thought we would be doing some sort of canning years ago, but we'll give it a shake and we'll let it go. Some great questions here. Michael Cheng says predictions on 1, 2, 3 on the American side. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what's going on with Jared Ward, because I don't know if you guys saw, but recently he posted that he's been having some hormonal issues. I think they're thyroid issues. Interesting story, because like you would think, thyroid issue, I get to take thyroid drugs. Like that's what like probably most professional athletes would think. But instead, what he did was, and he's just shows how much of a stand-up guy he is. He instead reached out to Meb Keflezighi and was like, "What do you think?" And Meb was just like, "Just try resting." And so rather than immediately go on to like low dose therapy for his thyroid condition, he tried resting in the lead up to New York. And not that he didn't get ready for New York, but maybe that's what's going on with his performance. So it'll be interesting to see now he is trying the low dose therapy, because just simply like backing off the training didn't resolve the issue. So it'll be interesting to see. That I think is going to be big. Scott Fauble, he's not going to be running with NAZ Elite anymore, so that's an interesting story as well. Jake Riley coming in. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. It seems that he does better when people are kind of underestimating him, so that's an interesting story. And then CJ Albertson, I think he's going to at least give us a good show. So I don't know. And then there's just like, there's a big list here. So yeah, I think it's too early to put a prediction in there now. But I mean, Fobbs being in there, he's gonna. Where's his new coaching situation? Do we know? I don't remember. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. And then someone else had something up here that I want to talk to. Yeah, Daniel M wants to know, when is Rupp's next race? Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious about that, because I was just listening to the Citius Mag podcast about they were interviewing someone, and he's a really fast runner. And like the title of the podcast is like America's Most Underrated Runner. Kipchirchir, I want to say. And they mentioned Rupp like a whole bunch of times. And I was like, what is he doing right now? I mean, I guess it's kind of like a "what have you done for me lately" kind of question. But anyway, here you go. Cheers, guys. Choco cinnamon banana. I don't like cinnamon or banana. I smell a lot of cinnamon. I taste a lot of banana. This isn't bad, actually, though. Um, as far as like protein drinks go, I kind of like this. It's not chalky. I thought it was going to be real chalky. Um, and I think the cinnamon actually does a really good job of hiding some of the kind of like the protein shake type flavors that you might get. So surprisingly good. Surprisingly, I mean, maybe good's not the right word for it. But yeah, it's got a little bit of calcium in here, some phosphorus, 1 gram of sugar, 15 grams of protein, 190 milligrams of salt. So not bad, guys. If you're looking for a sugar-free or a low sugar prebiotic protein shake, this one's not bad. This one's not bad. Sean Devlin said, looking at that list of the elite entries, and says, looks like my shot at winning Boston just got a little bit slimmer. We all think that, right? We all think that. Let's see. Kevin Bickerton says, with both the men's and women's half marathon world records being quicker in the last 2 years, we will see the marathon world records be broken in 2022. I hope so. That'll be fun to see. That'll be fun. It'll be really interesting to see how Bekele comes in. Yeah. I mean, I think that, any race he's in, he's a favorite to win, right? But how old is he now? He pulled out. He did not run his last race. But, one of the things that I was thinking about with how deep this pool is, it makes me wonder, like, well, is London in the fall for some reason this year? For some reason, I thought maybe, is that true? Or am I imagining that? And then the other thing I was thinking is, well, I wonder if runners were worried about Tokyo not happening. Because I remember when Tokyo was rescheduled it was supposed to be last fall, when it was rescheduled to or canceled. And now next year's, the 2022 Tokyo Marathon is actually a 2021 Tokyo Marathon, and the Tokyo 2022 Marathon is that technically canceled. That's how they're doing it. I remember we knew about that before, like, it was officially canceled, because all of a sudden all these athletes were announcing, hey, I'm running New York Marathon this year. Guess what, guys? So, yeah. Well, it looks like Matt's here. What's going on, Matt? How are you, Rambling Runner? Just listened to the podcast with Lindsey Hein today. Actually, I listened to it like over 2 days. I finished it today. Really good job. I love the I like it when creators talk to other creators. So those are always some of my favorites. But Matt says the sugar is needed in the protein shake, turbo boosted protein uptake. I do like it when there's a little bit of sugar in it. I feel like it's unnecessary for me when the protein shake is sugar free. But I suppose there's options for other people, but yeah. I mean, I'm not too worried about it, because I'll end up having something else with a lot of sugar later too. But I agree. I prefer the stuff that has sugar in it, not just because for flavor, but I do think that like having things in ratios is pretty important as well. Cuddle says, question, we don't have snow. So how do you handle wet running clothes? Do you just put in the dryers? Wondering, as most clothing labels I've seen say, do not tumble dry. So wet running clothes, like if they're sweaty, some things can handle a couple of wears. This is something that they talked about in one of the drop podcasts at length. I'm trying to remember which one, but I don't remember. I can, like, stuff that's like merino, or some of the stuff, the fibers are like have like charcoal or something like that embedded in the fibers, stuff that's supposed to be a little bit either more eco-friendly because you don't have to wash as much, or has stuff that's just more specifically designed for odor control. For long sleeve stuff like that, I might flip it inside out and hang it on something to let it air dry, and then usually it's good for a couple of runs. But for stuff that says do not tumble dry, I just go ahead and ignore that. We also have like a drying rack, to dry things that are delicate, but sometimes I'll do that. Usually like the first season that I have like a running shirt that has merino in it, I'll dry it, like air dry it, hang dry it. After the first season, I'm like, I don't have time for that. It's not 100% merino wool anyway, so it's like, it's probably okay to throw it through the dryer. But I mean, I do the laundry at home, but if you were to ask my wife, she would probably say I get like a passing grade on the laundry. It's done. I mean, sometimes I don't get around to it either. So, maybe below needs significant improvement is probably what she would say. But that's how I approach a lot of that stuff. All right. Daniel M says, I pretty much cold wash and tumble dry anything that is waterproof. Yeah. So, and it says the merino is great for multi-use. If you run every day, it can create a lot of laundry. I know. It just, there's so much because I'm wearing, today's a different because it's a little bit warmer. But when it's colder out, I will have at least, the pants layer and long socks. If it's super cold, I might have a tights underneath the pants. And then I'll have like a long sleeve and then a jacket and glove, hat, and neck warmer. So like it's a lot of stuff. And so anything that I can kind of let air dry and then rewear, because you're not sweating as much as you are in the summer. Stuff might get still a little bit sweaty and damp, but it's not coming in like dripping. So that's, I like to let stuff air dry when I can. Sue says, do I do a sniff test before tossing it into the wash? Usually what happens is I'll do a sniff test before, so once it air dries, then I'll kind of like pick it up and give it a test and see if it needs to go into the hamper or if I can put it into the separate like worn before pile. That's kind of how I do it. Yeah. Frank says, I haven't had to put on long bottoms or a jacket yet this winter. What? Really? That's crazy. Yeah, I've had to put on many jackets. I finally got around to watching Ginger Runner's Gear of the Year video yesterday. For some reason, I just haven't been able to get around to watching that. And he had the Janji Zephyr Thermal on there as one of his favorite. I think it was like a runner-up. And I was like, yeah, that is a good one. That is a jacket I like. It's super thin. It does not look like it's going to be warm enough. But I wore that jacket in like maybe teens in terms of air temp. And it worked. It worked really well. So I was really surprised by that. I was like, I'm going to be a little bit cold, but I guess there's only one way to find out how thermal this thermal jacket is. And I was really surprised about that. Stevie76 says, do not tumble dry is just a suggestion, like 3,000 mile oil change. How often are you supposed to change the oil if it's not 3,000 miles? I just do it every time I'm back in Iowa. I take it to Uncle David. And then, yeah, he hasn't yelled at me yet. So I guess I haven't messed it up. But the last time I went back, it was like 4,500, maybe 5,000 miles between oil changes. And I think I'm due, or at least it's been 3,000 miles already since a lot, because we just drove so much and we drove to my sister's house and back. So that was 2,000 miles right there. So how much are you supposed to? No, if it's more than that, don't tell me, because then if you tell me it's 5,000 miles is a good number, then I probably won't get it changed till every 7,000. That's just how I am about those kinds of things. Austin Harling says, I have a pair of shoes that I love to run in, the Brooks Aurora BL, but I always get a blister in my arch under the big toe. Only thing that helps is tape. I don't want to always do that though. Suggestions? Socks. If socks don't work, try. I don't know. I'm not familiar with I'm familiar with it, but I'm not running it myself. I don't know if the insole is removable, so maybe you get a different insole. And if those things don't help, that just might be the shape of the shoe, and it's just rubbing against your arch. Maybe you have a low arch, or maybe your arch curls in at a different point than the shoe is, and so tape might be the only thing. So I'm trying to figure out this avatar picture here and what's going on in this. It looks pretty amazing, whatever's happening in this picture, Austin. David Kelly says he's listening to this while doing laundry. LOL. There you go. I think that's a good way to use this, to listen to this podcast. Yeah. Jeff Elliott says it's 5,000 miles now. Is that because people are using synthetic oils and stuff, or I mean, I don't know why. All right. Well, I'm just gonna make a habit of going back every time I go back to Iowa. We'll do it. Unless I like sometimes. I mean, there were sometimes I'm very aware of the frequency because we didn't always own a car. Through most of me and my wife's married life, we have not owned a car. Now we own one. And before to go to Iowa, we would have to rent a car. And then, that adds up, especially if you go multiple times a month, which sometimes we used to do that. And so that's a lot of trips. Maybe in that situation, I wouldn't bring it back to Uncle Dave every time, but I think that's just how I'm going to do it. I mean, he's been servicing the car since my in-laws owned the car. So I feel like it's got almost 180,000 miles on it. I've never been able to take care of anything in the physical world that long before. So I'm like, whatever's been has been happening to this thing, we need to keep happening to this thing. Don't change it. Frank says the car manuals usually say 5,000 to 6,000 miles. It's only the oil change places that say 3,000. Really? I had no idea. For people that have electric car like Teslas, I mean, there's no oil changes. Is there any other maintenance at all, or is there no maintenance? Sue Aaron says everyone needs an Uncle David. Everyone does need an Uncle David. Uncle David's great. I like Uncle David a lot. And it says my van only needs an oil change at 20,000 miles. Modern engines are very different. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's amazing. And Kurt says, what's going on? Kurt says, I'm scheduled to run the Milwaukee Marathon on April 2nd, and it's a carryover from the 2020 sign up. They still haven't opened the sign up with about 3 months to go. You think it'll happen? I can't imagine it not happening. I mean, maybe I mean, certainly the state. I don't see the state of Wisconsin calling it off. I guess it would matter on the city of Milwaukee and whether they're gonna stop you guys from doing it. I don't. Yeah, I think I don't understand why it's not opened up. That's a bigger question, and that's the only thing that would invite that question. I wonder why. That's really weird. That's really weird, Kurt. Kurt, by the way, did you see someone? Kurt is the charity runner of the week this week, and I don't know if you saw, but someone donated to Kurt's page $25, which is amazing, and did it under the name of Amateur Pro Runner. When I saw that this morning, I was like, this is hilarious. You guys are so funny. I bet you it was someone in here too. So whoever it was, thank you very much. That made my day. That definitely made my day. Andrew Hahn says, change the oil yourself. It's super easy and cheap. Yeah, I mean, when I had a motorcycle, I changed the oil myself. And, like technically speaking, mechanically speaking, I think I'm capable of doing it. But that would require owning like the things that your car would drive up on. So I have enough space to get underneath there. And then me having the patience to properly dispose of oil and all that kind of thing. And I'm just really bad at that. We've got like a quarter can of paint that's been sitting in like the entryway closet for about 9 years. Just because I'm like, I don't know where to get rid of that. So that's the big thing. So, I'm like, you know what? I'll just have Uncle David do it because I got an Uncle David, So, yeah, I mean, Uncle David is the baby of the family, but I think he just turned 60. And no, right? He's nearing retirement age soon. And I'm just like, where am I going to take a car then after that? I mean, I don't think that this 2015 or 2016 Dodge Journey is going to make it until Uncle David retires. But I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to need to find another Uncle David. So I don't know. Yeah. Eric Trapp says, hey, Mike and Livestream gang, been a while. Feels nice to join the chat again. Well, good to see you again, Eric. Great to have you back. Austin Harling is telling us about this picture. He says he does gymnastics and he's doing a backflip. It's a backflip. Oh, that's one thing that I wish I knew how to do. That would be fun to see. All right. Nick Goldfin says, Kofuzi, I really enjoy your videos. For the amount you run, do you often pick up injuries? I would say for the amount I run, I pick up very few injuries. But as I've been getting older, I've been spending a lot more time on maintenance. And it's not a lot. For me, what that is a pre-run routine of like squats and lunges, body weight stuff. I'd say the lateral lunge and just trying to get really deep into a squat, and then single leg deadlifts are like the main ones, but I do a couple other things too. Do it before every single run. And that like kind of opens me up enough and provides just the like right amount of kind of like strength work that I'm not getting injured. And most of my runs are easy. So for last week I hit 70 miles. You know, I probably had 65 to 67 miles of it easy. You know, so maybe 65 miles of it easy. So yeah, so that's another thing too. I'm just having a lot of fun out there. Jason Dahl says our car, a Subaru, is 6,000 miles or 6 months. Oh, I think the old days of 3 months, 3,000 miles are long gone. All right. Well, I mean, Uncle David's old school, so maybe that's why he still does it that way. But yeah, he puts the sticker thing in the windshield, like everyone. Not that he's unique in that way. And I just whenever it's there, whenever we get near there, I change the oil, and then whenever I'm over that number, it gives me kind of distress. It weighs heavily on me. And Antonio Rodriguez says, "There's no maintenance on the Tesla." See, that's what I need. I need no maintenance. I'd love to have like an electric car. I'm not a huge fan of Elon Musk, but I like what he's done with Tesla. He's made a contribution for sure to the auto industry, and I do really want one. I like the bigger ones because that would work better for my family. Like if they could just make like I mean, ideally, what I would love, it would just be like a big cube that my family could sit in and have 4 chairs that face each other, and it would just drive itself. And if that cube also had like a mini fridge and maybe like an air fryer and a coffee maker and like a Keurig inside, I'd be all set. We could just, I mean, we'd be on road trips all the time. You know, I would love that. That's my dream. I keep trying to get my daughter more interested in robotics and stuff like that. I mean, that's not hard to get her interested in that, but because she likes building things. And so I'm like, and I keep every once in a while, I'm like, you know, it'd be great if someone were to invent a machine that could just drive us around and also make us pizza. So I'm trying to like plant, you know, these kind of crazy ideas in her head. So that way she, you know, learns to think crazy like her dad. Because it's too late for me, I guess. All right, let me scroll down and catch up with you guys in the chat. Sorry about that. All right, Kurt Owen says you gotta get the Cybertruck. That Cybertruck is weird. That is very weird. Yeah. Dan says he's not a fan of Elon Musk, but the Teslas are cool cars, though. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like, is that like the trade-off? Like to have someone that does things as innovative as him, you have to kind of deal with him, I guess. He's like the Dr. Gregory, was it Greg House? He's like the Dr. House of real life, I guess. Just not medicine, technology. Kurt says Kofuzi is a Cybertruck kind of guy. I don't know. I don't think I'm an electric Volkswagen van kind of guy. But there's got to be something in the middle of that. I mean, like I don't know. I'm really interested in like I mean, not if we lived in Chicago, but when I'm in Iowa, I'm like, it'd be great around here, one of those electric Ford F-150s. Very curious about that. I'd love it if they could make an electric Jeep. I don't think they ever will, But I like the idea that like we're getting out of like electric is just for like Priuses. So progress. But again, that progress wouldn't happen without Elon Musk, whether we like to admit that or not. Dude, Maybe22 says, let's move on to talking about getting rid of that old paint and coats from the closet. It's been there for a long time. And we also have a couple of extra pieces of tile in that same closet from when I tiled the entryway myself. One thing that I used to do before we had kids is my wife used to travel 100% for work all the time. And she was a consultant. And I would get very bored when she was gone. And so I would just take on these projects. And one that I did was our entire apartment used to be carpeted. But with a Chicago winter, you come in with your boots, it's gross. And so that area gets just really nasty. So I took out the carpet in that area and I tiled it. And I kept a couple of pieces of tile in case, one broke or shattered, then I'd have a piece of tile that was from the same batch that I could replace it with. And that tile is, well, my daughter just turned 10 a little while ago. So yeah, it's kind of old. It's in there. It's in there. You never know. You might need that. You might need that tile. I just I'm like, can I put that in the trash? We have a garbage chute that's not going to survive the the garbage chute isn't going to survive if I throw that in there. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Jeff Ellie says the best thing about that F-150 Lightning is the giant frunk. Yeah, storage, lots of places to store stuff. I think that's gonna be great. I don't think I'll ever get one. Right now I don't even have a place to plug in an electric car, let alone an electric truck or anything. So we don't even have a parking spot in this building. So, an electric car is not in my near future. But I love that they exist, and I wish I had one. Kurt says, I wonder if I could put a treadmill in the back of a Cybertruck and then have someone drive me around running while I am GPS tracking. That's funny. But like, it's one of those things where you're like, I think that would really confuse a lot of people. Like every time when I see people, like I've seen people like take pictures of their Zwift setups and like they're trying to flex when they're like showing off their Zwift setups. And they're like, I moved my Zwift setup outside into the balcony. And they're like, and look at these mountains in the background. And I'm like, it's a nice day, as is clearly depicted in this photograph. You have a bike that you've put on a smart trainer, and you're talking about how wonderful the scenery is back there. Can we put those two? Can't you? You're so close to having a great idea, guys. So I think that'd be really funny. It would just be like, why? Wait, what? Why is the treadmill back? Can't he just run? I love it. 76 says Trivia Tuesday. What's in Kofuzi's closet? Just old stuff that like I could probably throw away. I don't even know. You know what else is in there? There's two closets by the front. In the other closet, there is a box of IKEA furniture parts. Now, we haven't bought IKEA furniture in probably about 4 or 5 years. But we have like a small box full of random parts. Mostly it's the things that they sell where you like screw it into the top of like a bookshelf and then you screw that L bracket into the wall. It's mostly those, but just IKEA stuff, things like that. So yeah, and it says if we throw out the tile, we'll drop something on the floor next week. Yeah, for sure. And then at that point, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm just gonna put some silicone caulk in there, and then that's it. I don't care. We've been trying to get this place remodeled for years, and then like the pandemic happened. So, this place is due for a gut rehab. That's kind of why like it looks like this, because we're just like, this wall's coming down soon anyway. So, but at least that's been the thinking. Shannon says, hi, Konko. Unexpectedly get to drop in. Have patience. I just to MRI and she asked to stop for a Pepsi. In my head, I wanted to scream. I have a live stream to attend. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, hopefully she got the Pepsi. Good to have you here. Daniel M says Tesla motorcycles. Are they planning on that? I have no idea. I don't follow Tesla. But there are electric motorcycles. They exist. And the funny thing about them is like in the motorcycle community, there's the idea that like loud pipes are necessary because cars don't see you. And then if you have an electric motorcycle, they can't hear you either. You know, whether you ever see those bumper stickers, loud pipes save lives, that kind of thing. I don't think that's necessarily that true. I don't know if it's false, but you know, people just want loud pipes. I mean, just say that. That's fine. You don't have to like wrap it into some other argument. I prefer the sticker "Start seeing motorcyclists." That one I think is much more clear and direct. But like I remember, like I think electric motorcycles have been in existence for a very long time, and they're very fast. I've seen them in sport bikes, but I haven't seen them in like a more of a cruiser though. I don't think I'll ever get another motorcycle. My wife and I have talked about it, and we're like, if we were ever to get motorcycles, I mean, now that we have kids, we're like, well, what will we do with the kids? Maybe that's the point, is then the kids can't come. But then it's like, well, let's just get a convertible, and then the kids could sit in the back, and it wouldn't be exactly the same, but you know, then we all kind of get to do something together. Adam says, look for ID tech or similar camps for your daughter. My oldest programmed a robot in a summer camp. Really? Oh, I think she would love that. She would really love that. I mean, what age do kids start going to like sleepaway summer camp? She's 10. So is that now? I don't remember. And you know what? And I certainly mean, I think that one of the things, I think my parents shielded me from a lot of conversations. Not shielded, they just talked about stuff when I wasn't there or I wasn't paying attention. I can't imagine my parents being like, at what age do we think that he's old enough to be able to go to sleepaway camp? I feel like they were just like, oh, there's a camp, you're allowed to go. Great, bye. I think it was more like that. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. All right, let me scroll down a little bit more. Eric says, it's like the treadmills at my campus. Looks at Pikes Peak, and I just give up and then go outside to be outdoors. And he shrugs. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can understand like if it's like a blizzard out. Yeah. But like when sometimes people take pictures of like about to hop onto my treadmill or hop onto my Peloton. And it's like it looks like a really nice day. And it looks like you live in a beautiful place. Why not go for a ride or a run? Connell says, Co's gonna start a fix it yourself stream. No, if anything, I'll start like a it'll be like what I would love to do is to be able to have some sort of bit like a video or something. Because I was watching Antiques Roadshow yesterday. I mean, sometimes it's just on. So a lot of times when I'm watching shooting videos, I film it in our bedroom. And if it's B-roll, you know, I have got my screen and my lights and stuff. So I'm still with the TV on. I just turn on, usually it's on PBS because that TV in that bedroom only has like a over-the-air antenna. So I can either watch like network channels or like PBS. And in Chicago in the evening, there's a really good local news program that I usually watch. But sometimes if it's just on, it'll then switch over to like Antiques Roadshow. And I think if I could do like an Antiques Roadshow for stuff in the closet, I think that'd be really funny. And I'm just trying to think of how do I turn that into like a YouTube video, or maybe like a TikTok. I think it'd be funny there, you know. So I'm not sure how to work that out, but it's the beginning of an idea. I think there's some funniness in there somewhere. I don't know. I don't know how to execute it yet. All right. And it says, one of my customers has an electric moped/scooter. She thinks it's great. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that like, you know, the electric motorcycles that I've seen, and it's been a long time since I really looked at motorcycles, but that I saw were like sport bikes, intended for racing. Um, and I think that like people are like, "Oh, electric motorcycles," but yeah, I mean, like electric bikes are everywhere in Chicago and in many cities now in the U.S. I assume it's pretty similar in Europe. And then like electric scooters and things that are like above like an electric bike in terms of like size and weight have existed for a long time too. So it's just like it's not that huge or innovative of an idea, I don't think. But maybe I'm wrong. But I also think that it's just like, oh, it makes just so much sense. You know, I want one. I really do want one. Mm. But yeah, Daniel M says, put the baby in a sidecar. Yeah, my wife's cousin, uh, she has a really old Russian motorcycle that has a sidecar to it. It's pretty amazing. It's like a 60-year-old bike at this point. Pretty awesome. I don't know how it got to the United States, but it's really, really I've never gotten a chance to ride it either on the bike or I've never like driven it or like sat in the sidecar. But some of the pictures that they have on it, like they put their kids in it sometimes and go for rides around the block. It's just it's like surreal and funny and hilarious. And it makes me really, really want one. Mm. Eric Trap says, my midlife crisis is not going to be a hot rod sports car. It will absolutely be a little Vespa. You know, what's funny is my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, bought a little Vespa for a while. And I loved riding that thing. That thing was a lot of fun. You just crank it and, it doesn't go that fast, but it's still like, the bike's not, the scooter's not that heavy. So it still moves. And it feels like you're going fast. Because it just feels like there's like nothing between you and the ground. So it can be exhilarating. But he bought it so that way he could commute faster to the train station when he was driving to New York. He doesn't have it anymore. I don't know when they got rid of it. But that little Vespa was fun. I like the old ones too, but he had one of the newer ones. That's fun. I used to tell people, like I remember right when I started like making YouTube videos, they were like, "So you've been running a lot, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah." And you're like in like YouTube videos? I'm like, "Yeah, this whole thing, it's like a midlife crisis, I guess, but just a lot cheaper than buying a sports car." I didn't say that for very long, but there was a period of time where I was like, that was like a canned response. All right. Adam says the camp that he's talking about was a day camp, not a sleepaway. ID Tech is good but expensive. They use colleges around the country, maybe at Northwestern or University of Chicago. Okay. That works too. I could do that. All right. I'll definitely have to look at ID Tech. Okay. Oh, I got my phone with me right here. I'm gonna write that down. ID Tech. Get my notes app out. Okay. Got it. See, now making progress in 2022, taking notes of things that you guys talk about. Daniel M says, my parents lied about my age to get me into football camps when I was too young for them. Times are different now. Oh yeah, they are. That's so funny. Yeah, I was talking to my brother-in-law, my sister's husband. They're not letting their son play, my nephew play football. But I'm like, wait, doesn't he play lacrosse? And he's like, yeah, but we can't have like 2 full contact sports. So like, oh, well, fair enough. Okay, fair. And I don't think that lacrosse has quite the head injuries like football does. Maybe it does. Maybe there's just not as many people playing, so that the numbers aren't as high. But I don't know. Shannon says, "Co, if I want to watch a live stream later, I don't have the option of looking at chat. Can you fix that?" You should be able to. If you're looking at it on mobile, like there's usually a button that you can toggle between comments and chat. So the chat shows up at the same time as it did in real time. So that should show up. I'm trying to think if when I watch, I think if you watch the live stream on the web, it should show up too, right? Or is that something I have to turn on? Hmm. I'll double check on that. I'll make sure that there's not something I have to turn on. Rowan says, Antiques Roadshow. How old are you? I mean, yeah, I don't watch it because I like the show. I just think that like I watch it kind of ironically. So like I'm not like, ooh, season 24. I don't even know what season they're on. Like I don't know about that. But I just do think it's like some of the stories are absolutely amazing. Like I enjoy the stories of how people acquired the things as much as I enjoy the stories in House Hunters of like, so and so wants something that's modern and minimalist. And the husband wants something that looks like a log cabin. They're looking for something in Phoenix, Arizona in the desert, and their budget is $800,000. Like that's like that part's amazing. And like Antiques Roadshow definitely has a lot of that. Sometimes it's really boring. It's like my great aunt, she loved brooches and she gave this to me when she died. I mean, touching story, but it's not interesting. The other is like, I don't know, this thing was in the attic and it always scared us as children. We was pretty sure it was haunted. It's this crazy weird sculpture made out of wood, and then the person will be like, oh, well, this is a very important, this is like a seminal piece from this sculptor who sculpted for years using multiple kinds of media. This is one of the few pieces that we're aware of that he's made out of wood, like that stuff's amazing. That's kind of amazing. But I would say there's more boring stories than there are good ones. But every once in a while, there's a good one. I was watching one the other day, and it was a cane that John Wilkes Booth had. And the person that made the cane went to jail for helping John Wilkes. John Wilkes Booth like broke his leg, after he jumped from the balcony in the Ford Theater. This doctor helped him with his broken leg. And so he was arrested and went to jail for like a really long time for aiding and abetting an assassination. And apparently in jail, he learned, was it the same doctor or something? I think it was the same doctor, learned to make canes and stuff. I don't know. It was a weird story. This cane, they were like, this cane, it's made out of really nice tropical balsa wood or something, some sort of wood. And they're like, probably worth about $300, even though it was like a 160-year-old cane. But because it has the connection to Lincoln, it's worth about $5,000. And I'm like, that seems a little bit low for something that has that kind of story. But anyway, it's a weird, really, really weird story. Like just so crazy. Like I don't know. People have this stuff just in their house. It's weird. It's weird. Seems it's like antiques and closet. It's funny. Yeah. Frank says it would be interesting to see how much you could sell your current 100-mile shoe collection for on the Shoebays, and then donate the results to charity. That'd be interesting. As in like an experiment, how much your shoe's worth. Yeah, I'm reluctant to do that because a lot of the shoes were given to me, and there's kind of like, well, not kind of. There's it's very looked down upon to try and in any way make money off of product that you're given in this industry. Brands hate it when you do that, even if it's for, I don't know if they would hate it if I was doing it for charity or if I was doing it for the purpose of a video, like how much are these shoes still worth? They started out at $120. What can I get on eBay for them now? So yeah, I don't know if that would be a good idea. If that would make a lot of people annoyed. Yeah. So like I've heard stories about people that do that. I think it's come up a couple of times in the fancy jacket category. Not like fancy as in like nice like dinner evening jacket. But in like the outdoor like backpacking, very expensive $800 like Gore-Tex, super nice, lightweight, but still warm kind of jackets. That I think that happens in that space. Not just the jackets, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it happens. I don't think it happens in the running space, but I think it happens more in that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if I could do that. And then like if someone knew, like, I don't know, I think if people found like, oh, I want to buy Kofuzi shoes for some reason. I don't know if that helps increase the value or lower the value. I don't know that would be that. I don't know how accurate the results would be. Jason Dahl said, I saw a dog in a sidecar with goggles on before, and I was laughing so hard I almost got into an accident. And Daniel M says, in Soviet Russia, the motorcycle is you. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's good. I haven't heard that kind of joke in a long time, a very long time. Talk about midlife crises. Eric Claremont said, Leadville is my midlife crisis. That's a good one. I like that one. Frank says, my midlife crisis ride is Alpha Flies. Also very good. I love it. I love it. Let's see if there's any more midlife crises. Yeah, I don't know. I love it, guys. Good. Brian says, you can't see the chat since the channel change. Was able to see it before on the old channel. Okay. I'll go dig through some settings to make sure that that's enabled somehow. I don't remember enabling or disabling anything like that. The other thing that I'm not sure about is this new like live stream channel still has under 1,000 subscribers. A lot of things unlock for YouTube at 1,000 subscribers. It's one of the many reasons why it's an important milestone. So I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with it, but I'll look into it once we get done here today, guys. And we are going to have to wrap up pretty soon. Yeah, Frank said there wasn't chat on yesterday's recorded live chat. Oh, all right. Buddy says, Nifty Niche says, the live chat working okay on previous 3 streams on web. All right, well, let me go take a look at it. I'll take a look at it from my phone. I'll take a look at it from the web as well to make sure I'm seeing it. If there's anything that I can do, I'll let you guys know. Here's the one thing I will tell you. I turned this off on my regular channel a long time ago. YouTube will send you an email every time someone subscribes or comments. I turned that off on the regular channel. I have neglected to turn that off on this channel. So I've been just getting not blanketed, but I've been getting a lot of extra emails. So I've been trying to figure out how to turn that off. I thought I turned it off, but I've been still getting a lot more emails. So I got some things to figure out. It's been a while since I've started a YouTube channel, I guess. So I'll figure that out. All right, guys. Sorry about that. And hopefully these kind of transition pains will be over very, very soon. Tomorrow's video. Oh, wait. What is tomorrow's video going to be? I'm not sure, but there will be a video tomorrow. And then we'll also do another live stream in the afternoon, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Kofuzi Run Club live stream channel. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.